Good morning. Safety message for the week of August 5th, 2024. Hazards. Recognizing hazards versus unrecognizing hazards. Comes off the website. Copy will be available to you. There's many hazards in our workplace and at home that cause great harm if exposed to them. So much time, effort, and money is spent by companies to train their employees to be able to recognize the hazards as an attempt to prevent injuries from occurring, period. While it's often thought that new employees of a company may not understand the hazards of the job, are most at risk for injury. A case can also be made that those experienced employees who have become complacent with the hazards of their work. Question for you to consider. Which are more dangerous hazards we recognize, or are they the ones we do not? The dangers of unrecognized hazards. Unrecognized hazards create a huge risk of injury on the job. Failure to be able to recognize the hazards can result in exposure to every employee in the work area where the hazard is present. A significant goal in return for the time spent discussing safety in the workplace is to improve employees' abilities in hazard recognition. The thought process being, if employees are able to recognize a hazard, they can take action to protect themselves and others. That being said, it's important to consider those employees who have been on the job a long time and recognize the hazards of their work, but may not take the necessary action to mitigate the hazards due to becoming complacent or comfortable with the risk associated with them. Workers in their positions for a long time understand the majority of hazards of their work. Experienced workers have sat through countless hours of safety training and many hours on the job, which allows them to recognize the hazards of their work. However, experience can also bring complacency towards taking risk. Those employees who have been on the job for a long period of time can desensitize to the gravity of the hazards around them. Working around hazards for a long period of time without any negative consequences occurring can create a false sense of security, which in turn can lead to an employee being more willing to put themselves in the line of fire. This is often the case when time pressures or pressure for production, even if it's just self-imposed pressure, are present. In summary, it is necessary to be able to recognize hazards for your work. From there, we can take action to protect ourselves and your coworkers around you. It's also important to recognize that being able to identify hazards does not mean, you're not able to take shortcuts during your work. Some experienced workers may feel that sense of understanding of the hazard and have worked around it for a long period of time, and they do not have to be as cautious to take all those necessary steps to worker safety around that particular hazard. Therefore, complacency towards recognized hazards can be as or more dangerous than the hazards you do not recognize. That's my message for the day. We all have choices. The choice we have is to recognize hazards and do something about them. That's my message for the week. Have a safe week, everyone.